All right, we're back into the match, guys. Perfect timing. And here we go. Titan and EnvyUs. We have stand in.
We have Ioric playing for Titan.
Ioric. Let's have a look and see if Titan can stop this onslaught here as Shox does come in. Middle. Quick couple frags there from him. Just RPK left over. And unfortunately for Titan, having Apex dropping there and Ioric having to sub in, it's definitely going to break the momentum that they had at the start. They were looking quite good, actually. So that's a huge blow for them. But perhaps RPK can pull out some extra damage here.
They were just waiting for him for the longest time. They've got his number.
They absolutely do. They can read his mind.
But again, people, if you want to help people like AJ in that video, seems to be popular in the chat, then it's justgiving.com/FACEIT to do that. And I think on Monday we will send emails to all the winners of the prizes, because I'm on a plane tomorrow morning. So it's 2-2 here. We have Titan on the eco once again. Happy is just charging through the map as per usual. Happy is and Happy does. Shoxy with the opening frag onto the B bomb site.
Is this the Shoxy that we saw yesterday? That was pretty hilarious. How sick he was, hitting absolutely everything. And Envy going to get the bomb down. Of course, we are on a bit of a save here for Titan. So not much they can really do in this round apart from score some extra damage and see if they can pick up some weapons. And there you go. That might just be a free weapon there for Titan. Happy with a grenade onto Ioric.
RPK has to be the only person I've ever seen fire the CZs one bullet at a time.
No.
He just fired 2 bullets one by one.
Yeah, loads of people do that.
No one else does it, Dan.
No, they do.
Nobody.
You're wrong.
It's never happened.
You're
ever.
really wrong.
It has never happened.
I think this is the most wrong you've ever been in your life, James.
Wow. I've been pretty wrong, Dan. I don't know if this is the pinnacle of wrongness.
Well, we're not going to find out today, because round number 6 is commencing, and we have Envy going over the top once again with Shox. He's basically, once again, just been going for the kills. Just absolutely super confident. Looking for all those frags. We'll finish off Ioric in the smoke. And they're just going to have to clear out all the close areas, because we didn't know if anyone else was sneaking in that smoke as well. Titan have, in the meanwhile, a little bit of a stack towards the A-bomb site. As Envy go for a bit of a wrap around, they've got a couple of players going up short as well, but it's like their push through A main is eliminated. It's only one player after all. And Existence and RPK are looking to try to do some extra damage here. It's going to be very hard to get much more than a couple of frags, surely, but RPK is going to be working on something. Existence getting a nice tag with Deagle, finishing off Shox with that one, but the bomb is going to get planted nonetheless here for Envy. Existence now repositioning, looking for extra shots. Not going to find the frag though. And the round is going to go to Envy.
All right, 4-2 in favor of the French versus the French and the Belgian. AWP is coming out. I wonder who's going to take it. Ooh, we've got double AWPs, in fact. So we do see this more and more, actually, Existence bringing out the second AWP onto Cash on the CT side. But let's have a look, actually, as to their setup here on the CT. So, oh, look at all these flashes. They are going for the fast one. They know the buys one. They want to cross. Kenny S, and you know he likes to ruin teams on his own, as Envy tried to point out earlier on. And ruin Titan will, as Happy, last one remains. And what I was saying at the beginning of the round, I wanted to see if Titan were playing B, like solo Existence in the way Versus Pro did with Neo with the AWP, or if he had some assistance there, at least in the early part. And it seems that might be the case. So I don't think they're really, if that's what they're doing, then I don't know if they are going to really exploit the whole idea of the AWP being on B in the first place, unless they're going to have RPK go up into the vents as they're running onto the site, so they can boost quietly if they need to. But actually, Yeah, on Cash, on the CT side on B, you often see Existence and Co boosting in funky spots, like they will boost in this area. RPK will be holding this angle, and Existence that one, but we'll see if that happens today or not.
Yeah, Envy just going for some aggression here with the Lurker Happy, looking for Happy's position, but in the meantime, Envy pushing all the way up middle through Connector, but at the loss of Smith. But that's a 4-on-4, going in for this B play, and they've got, again, Shocks coming in from heaven. Shocks with it all to do here from up above, able to take down Existence. Kyoshima going to win his one-on-one as well, and Shocks is in prime position to lay down excellent covering fire to Kyoshima as the bomb gets planted at the back corner of the site. Kyoshima can save, I just say here, and look at that, that's a really nice little Molotov there that's going to keep Shocks safe for the time being and disincentivize Kenny S from even using that route. Instead he's going to go below, and Shocks has jumped down in pursuit of a frag. He's not going to pick it up. It's Kyoshima that takes down Kenny S, gets the finish onto Maniac, and the round is going to go to Envy. It was a good attempt by Titan to clean that one up, but it was not to be.
Look how expensive the round was, though, for Envy. They survived with only one player, so their money's not going to be what it could have been. Lots of cash having to be spent on that side. They're expecting it to be Titaness. They're putting the extra numbers onto the B bomb site. Lost one already to NBK. Quick peek. Bing. That is a beautiful grenade, which is going to send Iorek down to 54 HP. Kenny has rotated as well, but look at the T side. They're keeping Shocks there just to cause some more shenanigans, but Titan have lost position and are scrambling to get it back.
Indeed, and they got Happy, who's lurking in the middle at the moment. And he is going to take down Kenny S. That's a big frag there for Envy as they make their efforts towards the A site. To get any support onto the A site, and I don't know if you would call it support exactly, because there's nobody there. It's completely clean. Envy with another very decisive round, and Titan, what do they have left? James, with the financial report, what have we got?
Okay, well, let's just have a look at this engagement first, see who wins it. Not going to be Shocks, in fact. Iorek has to jump on him with the M4. We'll have to pay attention to see if A, Titan can save, and B, if they can save Kenny's AWP, the all-important AWP. Should see what Smith... Actually, Smith has got it, so... Unless there are two of his AWPs on the map, then there will be no save on this occasion. But looking at the cash, there's nothing in it at all. So it's going to be EnvyUs taking this to 6-3, which is a pretty horrible start here for Titan on the CT side. And worth mentioning that Happy is in my dream team. He's a captain for my dream team.
Shocks is the captain of mine.
So you have Happy, Shocks, and who?
Kyoshima.
And Kyoshima. I have Happy, Sniper from Australia, Relics from North America, did well for me yesterday, Zeus, and Guardian. Well, who's your
good
team?
choice, actually. Envy. which is kind of bad because it meant that it was expensive.
Pass me a bucket.
All right, so over the top they go for another middle take. Iorek is close, though, to middle with that smoke, giving him a good hand, but Smith's able to take him down. It's going to equalize the things a little bit here. But weapon advantage for them. So Envy, all they really need to do now is just stick together and make sure that they tackle one area as a team here. Splitting up is definitely going to be quite risky, as there is always a chance that Titan can get a free kill, and there won't be the trade potential because there won't be trade potential. Let's see how to get that bomb down. And very patiently with these close ranges, but Happy picks up 2 quick frags over towards the checkers area, the vent room, and that should be pretty straightforward from here now. The bomb is going to go down. They can get their post plant setup going, as Maniac is going to get momentarily flashed up at heaven, up on top of the ramp. Just looking for a prime moment to peek out or to hear some sound cues to inform him where to look and how to get a quick frag. Yes, going to be interested in keeping that AWP alive for the time being as he shuts down exits in towards CT spawn. Envy though, they know that Boiler is a Boiler. They know that that the B storage is pretty safe though, so they're going to exit through this avenue as Kiyoshima picks Maniac along the way. And oh, he's not going to make it out of there alive, but at least Smiths and Happy get their weapons alive for Envy.
Okay. Excuse me. So, an AWP on both sides.
I want to see aggression from Titan. I want to see aggressive play in A main or something, or Squeaky from Kenny S, or something similar to that. They need these early round advantages, James.
Yeah, well, now they've put they've put Kenny S solo. This is I think if you're putting an AWP on B, then generally you want the AWP solo, so you could put the extra manpower elsewhere. And they've made that change. They've put Kenny S onto the B bomb site. However, they've lost 2 players, as have the opposing team. So trades coming in, and that will square things up once again. Bomb is on the floor as well. A lot of frags in a very short space of time here. NBK loitering in the mid area, trying to pick up the bomb, and Happy is going to make a passage for him towards the bomb site. So it's going to be Kenny S versus 2. Seems Happy may try and get the jump on him, and he knows better than to repeat. Mr. Kenny S, Mr. Shrub.
There he goes. Against 2. Kenny S is peering over the car as he scans for those opponents. There's 2 left. He knows where one is, at least. Has a pretty good idea on both of them, but there it is. Great peek. Timing from Happy to go along with that flashbang. And 8-3 now the score. Envy definitely kind of wrecking Titan at the moment. Having some close rounds, but just basically just not close enough, more or less. I mean, Titan unable to actually close some of these ones out, and it's starting to really get away from them. 8 rounds is pretty huge on the T side here.
Okay, looks like they've gone back to a more standard setup. So RPK and Existence over towards the B bomb site. RPK is going to get shut down straight away. Again, this isn't eco, so a few digs. 5-7 P250 here for Titan, but not much else. So this may be a bit of a throwaway round, although they are looking to do as much damage as humanly possible. I do want to see what they're going to do on the next buy round. Again, on that last buy round, they put Kenny over to B on his own and had Existence and RPK elsewhere. So I do feel like with Existence as a second AWPer on the B bomb site, maybe RPK is wasted just with the way they're playing him. He's not really playing the vents, he's playing the checkers area. But I don't know, it's not really going the way of Titan at the moment, so we'll see if they continue with the changes in the next buy round.
Ooh, good shot there from Smith there. He's going to catch Eric as well. Maniac in a 1-on-3. Not going to be interested in this at all. Wants to keep that AK-47 alive, it would seem, for the time being. Although that said, he's got quite. They're going to get quite a lot of money from this the round bonus. So the thing is, as well, there's nothing to be done here. As far actually, you know what? They could do some. He could do some economic damage here. Surprisingly, Envy don't have all that much cash. If we actually look at it.
Yeah, looking at the last round.
Lots of damaging rounds.
Yeah, they've been falling on both sides. It's been a bloody war, Dan.
Yeah, a very, very bloody war indeed. 2 AWPs here again for Titan. Kenny S in Existence, and once again, that last round was where I said, okay, I want to see aggression from Titan. Envy kind of beat them to the punch on that one. They just rushed the middle with a quick timing.
I just want to say, sorry to interrupt you, Dan. I was pointing out how they might change the setup, and indeed, finally, Existence is holding B on his own with the AWP. So now they're going to actually make better use, I would say, of RPK elsewhere. Currently, he's holding A slope to mid, and Kenny S has free reign to destroy lives and ruin relationships towards A main.
Yeah, he's already shut down that push. They can't really challenge into this anymore. I mean, Kenny S is just has free range of the entire bomb site. Not much they can do about that. Envy need to find a huge play elsewhere, to be honest. I mean, I guess they can still go for Kenny S, but he's got help now. He's alone before, and Kenny S is easily going to take down Shocks, trying to use the smokes to kind of guide him through a safe passage, but it's not going to be there. Finally, Kiyoshima able to take down Kenny, who was on a 3-kill there. But he's got 4 more players to find. Going to pick up Maniac as well, as Yurik picks up the AWP of Kenny S. And there goes Existence now, challenged by Kyoshima. Over towards T spawn. Going to pick up the kill as well.
See, I feel like the way Titan were playing previously, I mean, it's only one round, so it's not really, you can't really say, oh, it's a successful strategy, they changed it now because they won one round. But I feel like they were maybe handicapping themselves in the way they used RPK on the B-bomb site when Existence had an AWP. So I'm curious to see if they will continue playing just Existence over there. And it seems that will be the case for now, as they have a strong presence. We may see a bit of a war here as both teams try to fight for the mid area. You can see Ioric and Maniac both charging down mid, completely blind. And as Kishima and Shox come out of the adjacent sides of the smoke, they will just wipe the Titan players out of the mid area and leave them severely handicapped very early on in this round.
I love this kind of play from T sides where they immediately challenge middle so hard that they take control of it. And now, even though KNS is going to come in with a quick frag on to Kyoshima, there's no presence in middle now. So Titan have no idea what's actually going on. They could be dropping from vents, which is now quite clear, quite obviously the case now that Smith picks off Existence and go for that B play. Or equally, they could have been moving in for an A split. Titan can't know till it's too late, and now they're having to respond. In goes the grenade from Kenny S. He knows he tagged him. He knows he's low, looking for the frag with that USP. But where did he go? Disappears like a ninja through the smoke. And Kenny S is now stuck behind the smoke, which is definitely not optimal here. As RPK comes in from the back. Actually, he might have a good angle onto a second weak player. No, it's going to be Kenny S who gets the frag and Shox in a one-on-one with no health. Just 1 point of health. And he blinds Kenny S and headshots him. That is brutal. Envy with 10 now against the 4 rounds that Titan have accrued, and that is it's painful.
I feel like
really
I feel like the approach from Envy at the beginning of that mid push was more well oiled than Titan's was, because you had 2 players from Titan charging up either side of mid, but they both got flash at the same time, and they seem to have, while there was a 3rd person there, they both got wiped out, I suppose, but because of the safety of the T smoke.
And here we go, fast play in with the AKs into the A bomb site. They want to have that no-nonsense push straight in, but good hold here. Kenny S with 2 quick frags, Maniac with 1 on the back, and that's going to give the players on the rotation a chance here for Titan. But Happy's lurking, gets eliminated there by Existence, and it's just Shox left to neutralize as he picks up Uric. And there it is, Existence finishes him off as well. 5 rounds for Titan. And 10 for EnvyUs. Looks like we are going to have Apex back en route here to replace Eric back into his spot, and this is going to be very important, especially as Titan do have 1 more match. Actually, they're up next as well against NIP, so so that's they really need Apex. Apex was again like the most consistent performer for them.
NIP versus
oh, that's interesting. My notes are wrong.
I wonder if we can get an update on the donations coming in while we just wait for Apex to join the server. But yeah, I think it's still going up. That's always good. Again, justgiving.com/FACEIT, and you can help make games more accessible for people with conditions such as spinal muscular atrophy and other similar issues. But again, thank you for all those donations, and we will send emails about the giveaways in the coming days, probably Monday. But again, I'm glad Titan finally made that adjustment with RPK, because I feel like if they're going to put 2 people there with a AWP, then he should be in the vents. Otherwise, what is he doing there? Because if he's holding an angle but near that box and Existence is holding a crossfire with him, it kind of, I don't think he's really exploiting the AWP in the way he should, because in that situation, the T's may get a lot closer to the entrance to B than they otherwise would if he's holding an angle with an AWP, as you normally would with, say, Neo or whoever else. Yeah.
I mean, I'm always a fan of being able to play one guy in vents and he be basically the second B player, but he's also able to support middle, and then two in middle, more or less at the start of the round, and then you're kind of dedicated AWPer who's definitely around quad boxes. And if you've got a guy like Kenny S, it's super strong. And with the way the timing works out, is you're safe. You've got 3 players, you know, very close in middle to keep you safe, to keep your middle control away from the T's at the start of the round. If there's a B rush, you have a super fast response and good information to deal with it because of the vents guy. And if they go to A, well, their timing's slower, so then you can, if your timing's good. Yeah, I mean, I think that sort of makes a lot of sense that you suggested. So into the pistol round we go. And now it's Apex going to be able to make the difference here. We've got Envy aggressively finding frags here. Shox going to pick up 1 in B storage. They're 3 players towards B as well, and that's quite interesting that they just sent Shox out alone in light of this.
Yeah, but it completely sabotaged the tactics that were coming out from Titan here. They were starting to boost people up there, and it all went awry as that frag came in so quickly there from the opposing French force.
Oh, looks like they're going to bulldoze through it. Very interesting round here coming out. Titan hitting the shots, and the bomb's going to go down. Happy against 3 players, 2 of which very, very low at this point. Apex is the only one with any amount of health on him. And he's going to go down immediately. Now it all becomes very doable here for Happy. Oh, he does get taken down to 9 HP. There goes the flash. And he doesn't have a kit. He's got to go for this quickly in his existence. Probably could have knifed him, but chooses to go for the sure thing. And Titan pick up the pistol.
So just to show you guys what we were talking about, something that actually, it was Dan who pointed this out to me, what Virtus Pro do. When they run past this shutter here, they fire a shot through the shutter to open this up. Whoops. So if they choose to boost into the vents later on, there is no sound cue for the other side. So I would prefer if that was the way they were using RPK should he be in B. But they're on the T side now. And it is 10-6 in favor of Envy.
So Maniac usually is often in kind of more lurkery role towards B storage. A lot of teams have a dedicated man. On Fnatic you see it's Flusher who's in B storage looking for picks. NIP they got Get Right who does it very well. But Titan they use Maniac, and see that now he's slowly pushing towards A now as his team is making the effort into that site. RPK going to quickly eliminate MBK. And these pistols, these Galils doing excellent work. Kyoshima and Shox still alive, and it's a quick frag there for Kyoshima. Shox is with a scout, and he's coming in from the back. What damage is he going to find with this one? This is a situation where, you know, Shox kind of wants to do some damage, but kind of keep it alive for the next round. So it'll be interesting to see if they're able to accomplish that, because, you know, never know how much damage a scout's going to do, especially with the jumping shenanigans.
There's no end to the angles you can find with a broken scout. Look at that. Yeah, that's intuitive. This is CSGO.
This is CSGO. CSGO. All right. So 7-10 now as Titan looking to equalize things. All it takes though for Envy is just a spree of successful rounds to get that economy going, and they can shut Titan out of this game. But it's got to start from somewhere, and it's not going to happen yet, as they are still on the pistols.
It's interesting that
one more save.
NBK's only got 4 frags, but his team leads by 3, which shows that they're really probably a good, well-rounded team. Other people picking up the slack, namely Shoxy at the moment. He is 18 and 11.
Okay, so Maniac once again in B storage. And look at that, able to catch off Smiths. Just peeking at the right timing. Envy, once again, their lives are basically disposable at this point. Then there's not going to be any saving business, none of that. They're going to go in for the kills here. They're going to go in to win the rounds, as they're going to buy up next round regardless. So want to get the damage in. And it's only Kyoshima to find a frag onto RPK so far. So minimal damage done as Titan lose only 1 player. That's only 1 rebuy or drop. And we are going to have a pause momentarily. So now we're going to have the full buy here from Envy. And Smiths, if he wants to go AWP, it's going to have to be glass cannon. He's going to have to be buying that with no armor, as he's only got 4,800 bucks. And the best he can do alongside that is a decoy. So that's pretty sad for him. But Envy going to be looking at a more normal setup. And Envy, I think, are a team that they have this ability to put Shox on the AWP as well, if they really want to. And then things can get kind of scary for the setups that they can play.
How likely do you think we are to see a double up here from the CT side later on there? At least?
Yeah, I'm not too sure actually. I think they tend to call it. I think it tends to be how good Shox feels on whatever he's doing.
They haven't gone for any AWPs,
the situation demands, because Smiths, when he can afford an AWP, is going to pick one up, and I imagine he's probably going to be mostly found in middle, or probably B actually, because usually the way that they play A is with Happy, who spots it, and Happy sometimes sometimes decides to pick up the AWP for A as well. It really depends on how they feel. And I remember speaking with Happy on the original LDLC lineup, and back in that original lineup where he took that team of players to like the semi-finals of Cologne, I think it was. He would say to me that, you know, sometimes he AWPs just because he just feels like it, more or less. He just feels good at that moment, and he knows specific roles with it very well on CT. So and we've seen this from him on like Overpass and maps like that, and he's good with it on A site here as well. So we might see Happy AWPing on A. I think Shox is probably going to stick to the rifles though, and he's been connecting with them as well. So
Look how the angle of his gun is bent when he's crouching. Did you see that?
no, I didn't.
The line of sight, when he's crouching on his Glock, it goes like 45 degrees to the left.
I was talking about the bigger picture, James.
He's bending space and time, Dan. He's shooting around corners.
Here we go. Oh no, Shock's going to get absolutely annihilated by Maniac there. Wallbanged, in fact. And that is a pretty big loss there. Your major rifler just got taken down on the defense. They're going to switch the setup a little bit. Although that said, Smith is alone on the angle there on B, and they've given him that job to do. And they've got two players in middle. MBK can quickly support Happy, as you can see there on the A site. And Titan are going to be setting up for a play here towards A once again. Maniac's job is just to lurk, catch rotating players, just delay them a little bit, obscure the play into A by providing presence on the other side of the map. And Titan going to be pushing into that A site, getting those kills. Just Kyoshima and Smith left over at the moment. So Titan looking really good at the moment. And Yorik's going to find himself an AWP. And there goes the EHE there from Kyoshima. Can he actually make any kills though? This carpet of smokes is certainly going to provide quite good coverage for Titan as they get the bomb down.
Nice plant there. Exposed for A main as well, so they can defend and attempt to defuse from multiple locations. We can see, once again, Envy going for, well, just going to try and survive. That is the order of the day. With some sneaky angles here, so everything apart from there is covered, but Smith has his eye on that as well.
Now the question for Envy is how they're going to use these rifles. Should they be able to actually survive with them and save two of them? Because okay, that sucks.
Well, there's your answer, Dan.
That sucks. I was going to say though, what they could have actually done is try to play aggressively on A main and try to gamble a little bit there. Because if they push two, let's say through Squeaky or two through A main with a pop flash, maybe they can get a kill or two and pick up a weapon for a teammate. But I think on a map like this, it's much harder than, let's say, Inferno, where you just say, we got two rifles, let's make them defend B. That's like really awesome situation for you. But they're gonna actually, did they? Okay, they bought some stuff with a few players here, so a little bit of a interesting buy coming in. Quickly check Titan's money. Titan are starting to rack up a lot of money, and it seems like Envy are not content allowing that to happen by just going for any ecos. So they want to get a couple weapons together to try to pressure them, get some kills here.
Looks like CT's going for a timing push, but that flash is quite timely in itself. That will slow things down as they go for the repeat. But they're fully committed almost. Well, they're pretty much fully committed, let's be honest, to the A site, as there's only Happy over towards B. He does, however, have a CZ, and we know what he can do with that. With Kenyos on 16 HP, this could go horribly wrong for them. Happy starting to get warmed up, gets 2 kills to the CZ. Just what we were talking about. He is arguably a master of that weapon. And now Titan find themselves in a difficult situation.
Yeah, they're down 3 players. An advantage for Envy. All thanks to Happy's patience. Yorick with a good kill onto Smith, though.
Very nice game goes down by Yorick. He got tagged from one direction, but he knew obviously there was probably a flank coming and immediately checked his 6 and found a frag. Got the odds back into Titan's favor.
I like that from MK. He's actually trying to bait out Yorick's peak by actually shooting the scout. You can see that, you know, he was in no position to actually have an angle on the guy on site, but he just shot the scout so that the sound cue would be there to force the other guy out to peek, and then he drew his attention there, but he didn't reload quite quickly enough to get the shot. But that's actually really smart there from MBK in that 1-on-2, because that's when you're... That's actually really, really smart. So MBK, he deserves a high five for that. Either way, Envy will lose that round, and we are all tied up here, 10-10. So great work here from Titan to recover. Horrible CT half, horrible for them, but they're on the road to recovery. All bandaged up, looking stronger than ever, and we'll have to see if they're able to get an advantage here. At the moment, they have no control of middle. And this is a big problem here because they've got 3 players towards A. It does feel like they want to go for an A play, but they're going to find it really difficult without any kind of set grenades to actually get in, unless they have middle control. So this is going to throw their Molotov into the vents here, and that's going to allow at least one teammate to either get into middle or to make it look like they want to take middle for a B split. So we'll have to see try and execute this. Trey's coming in here as the door goes open, and we get 1-for-1. It's looking good here though for Envy. The smokes are down though, so this might give Titan just the coverage they need to get those engagements rolling in for them. Kyoshima close to the red container though, going to be peeking out. Takes one quick frag there. Distracted momentarily by an extra player. Existence by short. By the site, and Yurik by short. So there he is, 1-on-2 now, and he gets eliminated by Happy. So Envy with a good hold, but I feel like it was fairly telegraphed.
Why?
Because they didn't have any middle control, and they showed a lot of bodies towards A main before the smokes and grenades came in, and there was no presence in B storage or in middle, and Envy had quite a lot of presence in middle. So I think they worked it out quite quickly.
Well, there we go. Look at the presence here again from mid. We've got more or less 3 CT players in mid here for Envy. They were ready and waiting for a push in positions where they could potentially hide from a flash. But again, the sacrifice they made is getting over to the other side of mid, but Shoxy does get over there. So that's a stark difference from Titan. They had 2 players streaming straight over to the other side of mid, whereas Envy were pretty much had 2, maybe 3 players towards A slope on the corner of mid, and then once they were comfortable, Shoxy went over to the other side. So a bit more reserved there, but that said,
Both by himself. Shox might have to go for a risk here. They need to know what's going on, and Shox just has to time it well. He can try to use the clock to his advantage, or some sound cues here. There's going to be grenades coming in. Would expect Shox to start moving very quickly now, as MBK is under a lot of pressure. The entire team bearing down on his position by the red container. He's going to get flashed as well, and he's still blind as a bat. RPK is going to abuse that and get an easy kill. Shox and Kyoshima likely to save what they have for the next round, as Titan look to be tying things up once again. So we're starting to go round for round now.
okay, so going to be 11-11 here with all members surviving for the terrorist side, and with 3,000 to 3,500 in the bank for many of their players. This will be a rich round indeed. Oh, the sound cue for Kyoshima. Really, his head was on a chopping board there, but that quick step from Ioric just ruined everything for him, and this will suddenly become a lot more expensive for Titan. They were due to survive with 5 players, and instead 3 of their players will have to spend $4,500 to get back into this game.
Yeah, that's really sick stuff from Kyoshima. Just as you expect, he's such a good rifler. And we're tied up again. And this is starting to get really painful because, as you said, like so much economic damage was done to Titan. They just won a round. So if Envy actually are able to like win this round and win the next round, and Titan's money bonus gets reset, they've got like nothing. They haven't got really much money at all to work with. Shock's gonna go down though. Maniac taking an unexpected and quick angle. Look how fast that was. Smith picks up the weapon as Maniac jumps into the site, gets the frag with the CZ anyway, and that is some key information at the very least for Titan. They now know what's going on the site thanks to Maniac. The assistant's gonna pop Happy's head off for him. So just taking it cautiously now, looking for the split on 2A. They do have shorts, and they have A main and Squeaky. Looking for the 3-pronged attack in, but there are CT players bearing down from the car position now. Might be able to put in some damage. And goes Yurik, looking for the shots around the smoke.
Bomb has been planted.
There's good position there for Kineas as well. And Yurik will finally find that frag onto Kyoshima. So Smith's just trying to be sneaky, keep his rifle alive at the moment. And how are they for the monies? not so good. All right. So Smith's just lying in wait to find himself any frags, and does get caught out by RPK. So this time, much better. Titan surviving with 4 players instead of 2. Okay.
Okay, so we may have a pause of a few minutes here as Kenyes has some intertubes struggles. See their 127 ping, so hopefully we will be able to resume this match in just a few minutes. So you initially called Envy to take this map. How are you feeling about it at this stage in round 24?
At the moment, it's getting really hard to predict because obviously they're so close. The economy for both teams is actually kind of shaky. If you look at Titan, they have a lot of cash now, but Envy, they're in a position where they have to buy. And the thing is that's been interesting is that we haven't really seen good economy really at all for Envy on the CT side. They've never really had proper full buys. So we haven't really seen like a multitude of AWPs from them. We haven't really seen a huge amount of.
Well, they've won 1 of 8 rounds on their T side.
Yeah. So we haven't gotten to see
CT side, sorry.
We haven't gotten to see what makes Envy so great on CT sides, which is aggression, because their money's been so low. So they haven't been feeling like they can take risks, and that's when they're playing at their best, is when they're taking risks because their skill is so high. So this is really kind of like that slippery slope that you can force CT sides into if you crush them on the money. And we can see that Titan are able to completely abuse this now. It's 12-11. And if things keep going this way, I think Titan will win the match. But there's obviously still a chance here that Envy... I mean, so this next round is going to be really important, obviously. But Envy's buy is going to be terrible. But they have to buy. At this stage, they have to, right? I just never see them ecoing here, basically. I mean, do you see them ecoing here? It's just not going to happen, is it? Well, I'm looking at you nodding in agreement with me, James. So, indeed, I'd say that Emmy's chances to win this round are low, but it's a really highly important round for them. So if they can't get this one in the bag, I feel like Titan's chances are really good to win this. So, yeah, at the moment it's really awesome, and especially considering the fact that Apex was absent for the majority of Titan's first half. That's a really sick result, and sometimes this just happens as well in CS. And this is one of those spots as well where sometimes when it comes to how strong a map is for the T or the CT side, the CT side is often going to be very reliant at some point on having actual money. But we see this happening time and time again, where I think Inferno is another common example, where you have essentially the CT economy getting completely destroyed, and they're always on such low economy that it's always hard to even have the full grenades. Then it really changes that dynamic of how well the CTs on paper are supposed to do, because the ability to play aggressively, the ability to proactively find out information and see what the Ts are doing, to kind of blow up their plays before they get going, to basically shut down choke points effectively and for long enough for your teammates to rotate in. All these factors, they require an okay economy, and that's not what we've seen here for Envy. So now they're changing things a little bit. We do have Kyoshima and Shox on the B bomb site at the moment, as more or less it's just a general pressure game from Titan at the start of the round, just trying to find out some information. One of the really cool things is when you get T players into vents and they can start taking picks at the guys on the site, that can be really troublesome. GetRight's actually really good at that. I think GetRight's the best player I've seen who's been doing that kind of play on this map. So he's one to watch out for if you want to be one of those B pressure players for your T sides. We can see that Titan are working in towards some picks here on A. There is a response now. We can see Shox is rotating up, and here comes the play from Maniac. Again, kind of lurking, kind of trying to catch rotations there. Wrapping up by himself, up through middle, onto short. As the push comes in from Titan, Existence able to take down Shox. RPK chiming into NBK. Happy now, going to get eliminated at the back of the site. And things look absolutely desperate for Kyoshima, for Envy. Their economy is in tatters. Titan, however, are starting to look really strong on the money, and we're getting into the last 6 rounds of the match. So I actually feel like this could all very soon be over for Envy, unless they're able to find one of their crazy rounds to get back into this. But firstly, can Kiyoshima survive with his AK armor? Keeping an AK alive would certainly be RPK. And there's KennyS, he takes him down. That's really unfortunate there for Kiyoshima. Really could have used that AK armor into this next round. So, the only thing that's going to be going for them is that they're going to have a night on their next round. But Titan aren't going to be equaling anytime soon if Envy are winning rounds.
Right, well, KennyS down to 23, which is terrible for his opposition, but he is low. This is an eco, and there are no nades for Envy, so never mind that completely irrelevant point, Dan, that I just made. So we've got Shox and Kiyoshima on the car.
Nice.
There's at least one frag, and ooh, Kiyoshima could get 2 frags here. A bit of patience with the Deagle against these kind of enemies. A bit of patience will get you killed at the back of a truck.
What does the GIGN stand for? I can't remember.
It's French CTs, but what it stands for,
because in 1.6 I used to read all the descriptions or the lore, but now I don't remember anything. I used to read that stuff when I was like 12, playing 1.6, but I'm not 12 anymore. I'm 26.
You are a geek.
I'm a massive nerd. That is true. All right, let's not get into that though. Everybody knows that already.
Yeah.
So here we go. We've got Shox aggressively positioned here. He's usually been playing middle, but they're mixing it up a little bit, and he's playing aggressively towards the crate there on B storage, and he's actually going to catch the frag. Does flash himself out of there. KennyS whipping the shot and escaping with his life is pretty nice. That's going to put them at their man advantage. Envy, once again, this is their first round where they've really had the ability to buy up fully, for a while at least. And so far so good. We have Titan working into a B play, but very, very telegraphed at the moment. Again, no presence anywhere else on the map, but Envy, they're playing quite scared. Elsewhere on the map. They haven't found this out. And everybody piling into the vent room here for Titan. RPK picks up a kill onto Kiyoshima. And can Envy delay them long enough for the reinforcement onto RPK though? And Urek getting stood up there. This is beautiful. Found happy as MBK tries to go for the runaround to intercept the bomber. This is an awesome impromptu call here from Titan, boosting the bomber out of the vent. I love this, and now he's going to go back in, forcing MBK to run backwards and forwards, and then into the reticle of KennyS, only to be taken down. That is how you do it. Lovely stuff there, and I want more teams to do the impromptu boost out of the vent room, because it's super awesome.
Okay, so KennyS will just have to do my best impression of what he has here. I think it's like that. A bit more here, maybe.
That's terrible.
Okay, awesome.
That's the worst orc drawing I've
I think
ever
it's pretty
seen.
good, actually. AWP Rouge.
Don't quit your day job. You won't become an artist anytime soon, James. So that's a little bit better.
It looks like a blowtorch. Oh, I pressed the wrong button. Oh, never mind. Anyway.
Alright.
So, it's a one-man advantage here for Titan in what could be the final round of this match. And after Envy's mocking at the beginning, this would be sweet justice for the Titans. For a split second or
I think
two.
he got the tag, actually.
Oh, he did actually. Sorry, excuse me. So, bit of a wallbang there. Smith down to 20 HP. And the numbers are thinning here for Envy. Only Kiyoshima and NBK remaining. He's going to just pop out with no remorse. Existence to find a frag. Kiyoshima versus 3. And that is going to be that.
Wow.
Titan take the W.